As you already know, there is a big difference between moral rules and legal rules. Moral rules are made by your conscience, and if you don't comply with them, you might feel remorse. On the other hand, legal rules are made by society, by the authorities, and if you don't obey the law, you might be punished. But this doesn't mean that all legislation is fair and just. You are well aware that there have been many laws that have been unfair and unjust. For example, when the law is sexist or racist or homophobic, this law is not valid, is not legitimate. We say a law is legitimate when it can be considered valid and acceptable. And this only happens when it respects human rights. But what are human rights? Human rights are the things we can all claim because they correspond to us just because we're human beings. For example, we all have the right to life. It means that nobody can kill you. They have no right to do so. We have the right to be treated in a safe and respectful way. We have the right to education. We have the right to health protection. We have the right to private property or to free expression. All these are human rights. Where are your rights? Where can you check which your rights are? You can check them in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that includes 30 articles and was proclaimed in 1948 by the United Nations. These rights have three very special characteristics that you should know. Human rights are inalienable, human rights are imprescriptible, and human rights are universal. Human rights are inalienable because nobody can take them away from you. They are imprescriptible because they don't have an expiring date. And they are universals because they apply to everybody. That's what we mean when we say that human rights are universal. They are for everybody. If you want to know more about your human rights, I invite you to go to the internet and check a wonderful website called Youth for Human Rights, or in Spanish, Juventud por los Derechos Humanos. It includes 30 wonderful little videos that explain all your human rights in detail. Today, human rights are considered the common ethical code for humanity. This means that every legislation should respect them in order to be valid and legitimate. But this, as you already know, doesn't necessarily mean that human rights are respected everywhere in the world. Unfortunately, there are many cases in which human rights are not respected yet.